The following podcast may contain adult language and an abundance of Chet Chet.
Chet, Chet, Chet.
So get ready, nerds, because we're talking C, Season 2, Episode 6, The Truth About Unicorns. Welcome and thank you for listening to another episode of the Salty Nerd Podcast. Today we're talking about C, Season 2, Episode 6, and I am joined, as always, by my fantastic panel of nerds, starting with the Barbarian Space Viking, Matt Vader. What's up, dude?
I'm here.
You are here.
Hating on tofu. Drinking some chocolate coffee in my fancy Salty Nerd mug.
Nice.
Available at our store at
saltynerdstore.com.
saltynerdstore.com.
Listen to him shill the podcast. Oh, I kind of like that.
I know it's weird, right?
It
wasn't planned. I wasn't really trying to do that. I know how you hate shilling. But yeah, let's do this. I'm ready.
Yeah, me too.
Ready for some salt on a dipshit boy.
Oh my God. Leave that poor boy alone.
Also joined by the ambassador of estrogen, who's rocking one of our newest shirts from the store.
Well, thank you for noticing.
Chet Chet.
Chet Chet.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Doing great. And last but not least, producer of the show, who's rocking the second half of Jude's shirt, Chet Chet Chet.
Yeah, I got the 3 Chets. It's a couple shirt.
It's available, saltynerdstore.com.
Saltynerdstore.com.
Shout out to C. We're probably going to get copyright claimed for that one.
You two are so cute.
I always make him wear twinsy shirts with me.
My wife would never do that. Not in a million years.
Oh, man. All right, guys. We're going to get into this episode. It's going to be full spoilers from here on out. So if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it and then come back. And before we do, we're going to listen to some sponsors. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. If you love what we do here and you want to see more of it, go to saltynerdclub.com. You are going to get exclusive access to 4 podcasts per month, along with Discord access, where we do live chats and we communicate with our club members every single day. And you also get 2 years worth of backlog content that you can go through, where we have exclusive podcasts for, like a couple hundred episodes at least.
It's all audio and video, all commercial free. And, it's 4 new episodes a month. So like you're constantly getting new stuff over there in the members area.
Yep. 100%, guys. So help support the podcast. We really do appreciate it. And we love our community that is in our Discord app and the Patreon club as well.
And we're doing a lot of fun stuff just for the patrons, like little comedy sketches and Q&A sessions and things of that nature. Like we just recorded something that we're going to put out raw just for the patrons.
Oh boy.
It should be fun.
It's rough. All right.
Chat.
We make fools of ourselves for your enjoyment. Right. All right. Let's get into this episode. Mr. Kadish, take it away, sir.
All right. So before I get into this, there was something that I forgot to mention last week that I really want to touch on. And one of the things that got us into this show is just how ridiculous season 1 was. And season 2 has done a lot to fix a lot of the problems with season 1, but occasionally there's a little bit of ridiculousness that slips through. And there was something so blatant last week that I just totally forgot to mention that I have to mention it.
What was it?
Right now.
What could it be?
Okay, so, in a blind society that can't, record stuff, like a lot of it's oral tradition. So a lot of names change in this show. So for instance, the Alkany was derived from the Allegheny, the Allegheny forest. From what we theorize, Pensa was derived from Pennsylvania. When it comes to Travantes, I'm theorizing that name was taken from tri-state. So like Pittsburgh is a tri-state area. It's part Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia.
Okay.
The Cleveland became Ganites. I don't know how, but that's our theory because it's the closest major city to the west of Pittsburgh. So all these names, like over the course of 500 years, have changed. You got Godbone, steel and iron, Godflame from the sun. So a lot of stuff in 500 years has been changed due to the blind society. And last week, when we opened up with Queen Kane receiving her counsel, we get the delegate from Altoona. So like for 500 years, the people who lived in Altoona is like, nah, man.
This is it.
This
is who we are.
We're holding on to this tradition. Like this name ain't changing.
Altoona.
Oh, that's a real place?
Oh, yeah.
What? Yeah,
it's a real place. And I half expected to see like Dwight Schrute in the background, like the delegate from Scranton. You got the state college delegates, all these guys in Nittany Lion.
Dude, you know what? If anybody was going to survive the apocalypse as a blind person, it would be Dwight Schrute.
For sure.
Yeah, for 500 years, he just hung in there.
Get Rainn Wilson with a big old beard coming back. Scranton.
Yeah, but you know, when Jude and I were watching it and they said like, and now the delegate from Altoona, and he's like, yeah, we got 10 guys over here. You know, I half expected like 3 guys with like mullets and like little like thin mustaches just standing there. It's like, yeah, we got a couple guys. But I just like, it just reminded me of like, you know, sometimes a little bit of ridiculousness still seeps through.
That's what we love about the show, though. It's like
It's like a delicious little nugget
Yeah.
of ridiculous.
yeah. I'm all right with that.
Yeah. So,
All right, so let's get into this episode.
Yeah, but real quick. Sorry.
Can we just start talking about unicorns for Christ's sake?
Well, one of the funny things is we've been watching John Tropper's other show, Warrior, on HBO Max. And his first show was called Banshee. And there was like a little nod to Banshee in the first season of Warrior. And I was just thinking, you know, it's so funny because Banshee takes place in Pennsylvania. It's in a town called Banshee, Pennsylvania. And it'd be really awesome if he created like a Tropperverse in season 4 where like the Banshites like come down and like, you know, they're just a bunch of like criminals who are like pretending to be like witch finders or something like that. And they give Baba Voss some trouble or something.
Just a little nugget.
Mr. Tropper, make it happen. Okay, finally getting to the show. All right, so we start with Paris waking up from a vision where Magrah and Baba Voss are betrayed at the peace talks. She sends Haniwa off after them, and though Haniwa has never ridden a horse before, she rightly points out that if Kofun can do it, it can't be that difficult.
This is true. It's not that hard.
That was a nice moment.
Yeah.
I laughed when she said that.
I laughed out loud.
I was like, oh my God. Everybody knows. Haniwa knows. We were in on the joke, man. So I don't feel bad.
And this was a very Kofun heavy episode too.
Yeah. There was
It just should have been called Cringe Fest.
Cringe Fest?
The whole episode is cringy. It's awful.
What about the nice horse ride through the wilderness?
Kofun takes the queen for more than one ride.
It's so gross, man. I can't get it out of my brain.
It's just seeped in there.
Well,
Yeah.
we're going to have to get there.
All right. No, it was one of those moments where it was like the show's in on the joke a little bit, and Haniwa makes comments like that. It's a
delight.
Yeah,
I love
it endears me even more to the
Yeah.
show. I'm like, okay, cool.
Like, we're not picking on Kofun for no reason. Like, the show made him this dumb.
It's true. This is very true.
I know.
In my book, he's a comedian.
Because I feel really bad sometimes how many hard like hits we take on Tofu, and you guys remind me like, bro, it's cool. They do it on purpose.
It's hilarious.
So I have to remind myself that this show's kind of goofy.
I mean, they are trying to fix him.
Yeah.
But it seems like 2 steps forward, 1 step back
But
constantly.
honestly, but the journey
Just
like
ending.
that we get to go on with him where he's like a complete idiot and like he's obviously going to a new place in the show as far
Yeah.
as like his capability. The journey there is just so much fun. Watching him just like get his ass handed to him every single episode. It's
I'll give him
it's
credit.
delicious.
I'll give him credit for not giving up. Like he's determined in this episode.
I think he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
At least they didn't just kill him off like Boots.
Yeah.
I wish they would do that. I really do.
Boots got a freaking
We need him.
yeah. We need Tofu. He's a good balance act.
Okay.
Anyway, continue, Cadis. What happens next?
All right, so in Travantis, Ito senses that Rin is troubled about her role in the peace talks. Ito promotes Rin to a captain so that the other delegates will put more stock in what she has to say. Ito stresses that the peace talks must fail, then gives Rin a loaf of bread before sending her off.
Did you guys notice what they gave her the captain's upgrade medal in? It was a Blockbuster VHS case.
VHS case.
Yes.
Oh, bless
It
this
was
show's
it was
heart.
a
I love
VHS.
that.
Oh my god, I
One of
loved
those-
it too.
One of those old school black
Yeah,
plastic ones.
yeah, from like Blockbuster. Like I half
plastic.
expected him to give him like open it up and there's like a Blockbuster card in there
Like
that just has like Captain written on it or something.
Well, if anything would survive 500 years,
Be like
it'd
a-
one of those.
boxes. It'd be like an old copy of Street Fighter or something.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, dude. I loved it. I nerded out. I'm like, that's a VHS case. I haven't seen one of those in 500 years.
Copy of Night of the Comet in there.
Something like that.
It'd be funny if it was Aquaman.
That would be funny.
Yeah. And it was one of those things where like the prop department was like, what can we do to give him like, here's a promotion. What kind of like
Oh,
adornment?
no, I got it.
Yeah.
Copy of Captain America.
Perfect. All right. What happens next?
How dare you offer a Marvel movie? Jason Momoa's DC, man. All right. So in the Penson caravan on the way to the peace talks, Magrah and Harlan ride in the Jingle Bell sleigh while poor Baba Voss has to walk. Magrah asks Harlan if he's okay, which is a stupid question because he obviously isn't. Harlan is surprisingly forgiving about the fact that his only brother died in service to his fake wife and chooses to drown his sorrows in booze. But Magrah continues to be a buzzkill and tells him to stay sober. She then rubs in his face that she just got her family back, and Harlan points out that his fake wife is now the only family he has, just to make it even more pathetic.
Yeah, that's very sad. This whole scene is sad.
It was sad, but it made sense to me.
Yeah.
It made me hate Magrah.
Magrah is not doing Lord Harlan any favors.
She's kind of a...
I feel like she would be a good ruler because she would be a good queen to her people. But as far as being a politician, she's not good at it.
Yeah, not very good at it.
And she's really not good at navigating this whole two husbands thing.
Why is Baba Voss walking?
Because
he's having difficulty walking. He's like
Well, he's
hunched
always
over.
walked like
It's
that.
a two-seater. First of all, it's a two-seater, so it's for royalty.
You can't give him a horse?
They should have given him a horse. Also, maybe he can't ride.
Maybe
He chooses to use his sword instead of a staff, so that's why he walks hunched over like that. So that's on him.
Okay. I was worried for him. I'm like, is he
The
sick?
core and lower back strength of Jason Momoa to have to be able to do that stuff.
We're in the 6th episode now, and I'm like, bro, stand up. I'm like getting worried for you.
That's the thing. Like, I
need
know
him to,
we'll get it.
Stretch.
I know we'll get it later on because we've seen a couple scenes in the trailers of like later episodes. But I kind of want Baba Voss to stand up straight because he's a freaking huge dude.
Yeah.
Not that would matter to blind people, but
that's how he's always been. He's always done the hunched over thing where he slides his sword in front of him
when he's
acting
fighting.
He does it even when he's walking through the woods and stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
He's done that a lot.
I don't think
this
I've ever
season.
seen him stand up straight in this show. Hardly ever, unless he's just sitting there
When he does, he's
talking
just
to
kind of
somebody.
like rocking back and forth.
Yeah, or when he does that cool little like I'm behind you
It's like
thing
his-
where he just pops up behind somebody. Yeah.
It's his style of walking. It's his style of fighting.
Remember in the first season where he like ran like a monkey? Like
Yeah.
He was like a gorilla during the war scene.
Yeah,
I kind of miss that.
it's like he has his own thing, man. And it's Baba Voss style. So
Okay.
The thing that really got me about this scene, though, was like, I'm surprised that Harlan, like knowing that his marriage is a sham and that, he was doing a favor for Magrah and that got his brother killed. I'm surprised that he's still like team Magrah on this one. Like you'd think that he'd be making his own moves against her at this point, especially since her real husband's back and he's kind of on the outs.
Well,
It wasn't Magrah's fault that he died.
No, it was totally her fault. She was the one who forced him to send his brother to Travanti.
But they all agreed that this was a good idea. We needed to do it. They went, and it was the Travantis who killed him.
Harlan was doing it as a favor to his wife because he
And
was trying to get
Kerrigan
her
was doing
pants.
it as a wedding gift to Magrah.
That's right.
And,
It was the
and they
Travanti.
didn't even need to do it because Haniwa shows up the next day.
Yeah, but it was the Travantis that killed him.
It doesn't matter because he wouldn't have been killed if they hadn't sent him there.
Yeah.
And that was all because of Magrah.
But they did make a deal. And I think ultimately, like, they have history and he does care for her. No,
Yeah.
he doesn't love her, but he does care for her. And they made a deal, which is going to get him on the throne.
Well,
ultimately.
I think he also kind of like wanted to like slide in there and he was working that angle until Baba Voss showed back up. And now he's kind of like annoyed.
he just wants his city back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's annoyed that Queen
The
Kane.
deal is you go through with this. Then they announce what everything happened. She takes the throne. He gets his house back. They go to another city and make it the capital, and everything's hunky dory. That's the plan. So it's not like
I get that he would be annoyed, and I understand where you guys are coming from, but I think that he has enough loyalty to Magrah and enough hatred towards the Travantis that he wouldn't blame her necessarily for the whole thing.
His brother's dead. I'd totally blame him.
he's also very in it for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's very
And
self-centered.
I love drunk Harlan, so the fact that she made him not drink.
I know.
Anyway, yeah, I think he still has some good sarcasm in this episode, though, even though he's
totally.
sober.
I mean, he's Harlan. He's always going to have good
yeah,
sarcasm.
he's one of my favorite characters in the show now, just because of his. Has it changed? I feel like his attitude, his character has changed a little bit in the last couple episodes, where he's gotten more comedic.
He's gotten more Tyrion Lannister
Yeah,
in the last couple episodes, simply because Baba Voss showed up. Like before that, like he was like strictly like I'm Lord Harlan. I'm playing the Game of Thrones.
But he was always really like charming and charismatic, and now like that's kind of shifted into him being a little bit more snide and snarky.
yeah. I like the side and stuff.
I kind of compare him as a mixture of. I mean, if we're gonna go Game of Thrones comparisons, he's like a mixture of Littlefinger and Tyrion. I think.
Yeah.
So
I like his sarcasm.
Yeah.
All right, what happens next, Mr. Kadish?
All right, so in Penta, Toad is finally training Kofun in sword fighting, and Kofun keeps getting his ass kicked. No surprise. Toad makes Kofun blindfold himself to force him to use his other senses instead of his sight, and Kofun manages to not get killed by Toad, which means that he may not be so hopeless after all.
Like somebody should have blindfolded this kid a long time ago.
Yes. Baba Voss, where were you on that one?
well, he failed as a father.
Yeah, he admitted.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just wanted him to be beautiful.
I don't need to teach you anything. You can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did screw up a little bit on that one. But Haniwa took care of herself, I guess. But anyway, I like the scene.
Hannah was the stronger twin.
Yes. I like the scene when Toad like knocks the sword out of Tofu's hand and he goes, "Wait, my sword." And he just kind of like stands.
going.
He just kind of waits like, "Oh, are we going to stop now?" And Toad's like, "No, bro.
Figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Move." Yeah, it was cool.
I also like how the swords all have like holes in them, so like you can hear the wind going through them and stuff like that. That's a nice little attention to detail.
Yeah, it is. I wonder if as like a way of getting the upper hand, if you make a sword that doesn't have any holes in it and then you can be more silent. Like Baba Voss has a strict like straight up samurai sword.
Well, yeah, these are probably training swords.
Oh, okay. Is that what you think it's for?
That's what I thought.
Okay.
Well, but Magrah has the whole whistle sword thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to see what happens in actual battle when it comes up in the next couple episodes.
Maybe that was more of a like you know, the like a Colosseum fight where you gather to watch a fight. They can't do that, so they have to listen to it. So maybe that was invented for something like that, like
Maybe.
a event.
We should also note that Toad totally like cut Kofun in this training thing. Gave him a nice little gash.
Toad
across
gives
the arm.
no fucks.
I like that.
Yeah.
He needs to give less fucks.
Yeah. He's like, you better toughen up, boy.
Yeah.
Duck.
And Kofun is like, it's like you know where my sword's gonna be before even I do, and he's like, yeah.
Yeah, because I do, man.
That's kind of the point.
Did you notice how Toad made a comment about making love during that?
Yes.
He was like, everything is a language. Fighting, fucking. And I was like, oh, yeah, Toad. Tell me
They're
more.
not going to ship those two. all right?
No, but I think something's gonna happen with Paris and Toad.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that one. That's the relationship I want to see
Toad.
blossom.
I don't need to see this.
Toad.
I do not need to see it.
All right, go ahead, Kadish.
All right, so Team Magrah finally meets up with Team Cervantes for the peace delegation. Those who begin entering the camp must disarm themselves, but while waiting in line to enter, Haniwa arrives to warn Baba Voss and Magrah about Paris's premonition. The message goes something like this. The peace talks are a trap. Yeah, we know. We're still going anyway.
You forgot Chet Chet.
Chet Chet.
That was my favorite part.
Yeah.
She rolls up, Chet Chet, and everybody's like, what?
Oh.
Chet Chet Chet, Haniwa.
I love how they all like line up and have the other soldiers search them and pat them all down. And Hannah just like walks in.
She don't give a shit.
Well, they were still waiting to be searched.
But I don't think Haniwa was searched, was she?
No, she
No.
was on the lookout at the periphery and she snuck in.
That's right, yeah.
But
Like it's just the whole concept of that is silly to me.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, everybody line up except for you, assassin. You're going to walk in
Honor system.
over here on the other 5 feet away from this line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why
You
do
know?
they even have to sneak weapons in?
Well, they
snuck whole people in.
Yeah, they what was it? Ren had the loaf of bread that had a sword inside of it.
I don't know.
And the guy was just like,
Spoiler, we haven't gotten there yet.
we haven't gotten there yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah, but we watched Ito give it to her, and then
Well,
she.
he
I
gave her
mean,
bread.
We all knew there was a
Well,
shit
yeah, that's got a freaking shiv in it.
Yeah. And then when that guy's searching her
Yeah.
before she goes in and he's like feeling the shit out of that bread and like smelling it. And
He's like, that's fine.
yeah, and
Sourdough.
he's like, all right, enjoy your bread. And then when she does take that out, I was like, he didn't feel that giant sword in there.
It was like
he
a
felt
dagger.
the shit out of it. He practically bent it in half.
Yeah, that was a very, very discreetly hidden dagger.
But it also makes me wonder, like, where are all the shadows in this season?
I
Because-
know.
We don't talk about the shadows.
I love the shadows.
Well, I mean, like the Silk King had 2 shadows of his own, and Queen Kane had her own shadow. Even the Alchemy had a shadow.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just a northern Pennsylvania thing. I don't know. What?
Well, you would think that Cervantes would have like a small army of shadows that
would
would go
think.
out and
Maybe-
spy for them.
Maybe they are shadows. They're just not dressed in mud.
That might be true.
And that's
I
why
do-
we can't see them. And we have the sight, therefore we're the handicapped ones.
Whoa.
This show just keeps blowing my mind.
All right.
Continue.
Yeah,
Oh,
just,
real
just a little
quick.
plot hole there.
Yeah, real quick. There was a comment that Haniwa made when Baba was like, "You know how to ride a horse?" And she's like, "No, it really hurts." That was a nice little.
That's true. It
I like,
does.
yeah, it does hurt, especially if you've never done it before and
Yeah.
you're not used to it. Yeah, she's pretty sore, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, I also find it's interesting where it's like, it's a trap. And it's like, yeah, we know, but if we don't go, we don't have an episode. So we're just going to go.
No, I think it's
Well, they said, yeah, it might end up in
we
the
have to at
trail,
least try.
but we have to at
Like
least
there was a
try.
game being played,
Yeah.
and they needed
Yeah.
to go through with it. I kind of got that.
And
part,
like,
but-
not to jump ahead, but Haniwa is pretty much the reason why everything went to shit.
She had to get laid.
Well, but it's funny though, because in the last episode, the dinner party where they're all sitting around the table and they're like, the peace talks are a trap. And everyone's like, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Well, they have to try.
Yeah.
If there, well, they say if there's even a little bit of a chance that we can talk peace, we have to try.
No, like it would have been more interesting if Harlan had kind of been like, I got some back channel stuff that we can go through. And so like, it's not going to be a trap. We can walk through it. Just a little something to kind of set up the fact that like these talks are a legitimate chance at peace instead of just be like, yeah, we're walking in a trap. We know. It would have been nice.
All right, what happens next?
All right, so in Pensa, Queen Handy is going for a stroll and finds her prayer partner Kofun in the stables. The two go for a ride, and with his sight, Kofun is able to ride a horse faster than anyone, and this exhilarates the queen. The queen continues to seduce Kofun by sharing her troubles with him, and Kofun seems conflicted about his feelings for his aunt.
Oh, I hope so. This scene,
I just want to black this part of the show out.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are the twins still 17 years old
yes.
at this point?
No, they're 18 by now.
Oh,
Are
18?
you sure?
Yeah, because the first season happened over the course of 6 months, and then 6 months occurred between the first season and this season.
Okay,
So
I guess that fixes it. Ugh.
We're in danger territory for sure.
Yeah.
But this whole thing where they're like, I did feel some kind of a connection between the two of them where I think I might be being fooled by Queen Kane, but I felt like she was being more or less genuine with him during that moment.
She's not being genuine.
I think she
with him
is. I think
ever,
she's actually
at
telling
all.
the truth. Like,
She's manipulating him the whole time.
For sure.
I'm not free. This is the only
She
time I get to
did
be me.
every
Bullshit.
single thing that she did with Kofun, she did with Gerald Morel.
Every single thing.
The horse riding, that whole speech.
She thinks she's just
the
reusing.
drugs. She is recycling her seduction program.
Oh, okay.
She needs a
Sighted
baby
child.
baby with eyes in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's just gross because she's banging her nephew.
Well, yeah, hey, means
It's
to an end.
just-
So, do you think when it all falls apart, she's just gonna be like, "I don't need you, go away"?
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be like super
Yeah,
betrayed.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he's
She's
gonna be
gonna-
all angry and
She's-
blame everybody. And
She's going to get him to fight his own family because she has his baby inside her. So he's going to be like, well, she's my baby mama. I have to defend her. And then as soon as that's over, she's going to be like, oh, by the way, fuck off.
Oh, that's gonna be a dark episode.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it for the scene? They go on a nice little horse ride.
that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
they have their little dances with wolves moment or whatever.
Dances with
I don't
wolves.
know, doesn't there a scene in that movie where they ride around on a horse out in the
Well, I mean, there's
plains
lots of that.
with the
But
buffalo and the tonkas and
they have
stuff?
the,
You know?
the donka.
I can't say that without the tonka. I can't do it.
I freaking love that
I know,
movie.
right? I don't know if there's I've seen this scene in other movies.
Okay.
On
yeah.
the horse, oh, I'm so free.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm flying through the plains.
Riding
and the
horses
fields
is
and-
very romantic.
Yeah.
I'd like to know like how they train the horses for blind riders.
Yeah, to go wherever they telepathically tell him to
you
go.
know, something
Well,
like
you
that.
just
Okay, horse, stay on the
the
road.
horse can see, so it's going to avoid any major
Yeah.
catastrophes.
Horses aren't stupid.
They're not
I
dumb.
guarantee. I
and
get
all you
that.
really have, I mean, I'm not like knowledgeable on how to train a horse, but you think like, okay, if I want to pull this way, you go that way. If I pull this way, you go that way, just to kind of navigate. But the horse can see major
Mm-hmm.
obstacles that they'll go
Well,
around.
how do you know which way to pull?
Following the leader. That's why they
You're
can't ride.
probably
That's why they
doing
can't ride fast.
Yeah, you're probably doing echolocation too.
Yeah, that, or if they have people on the ground who are walking, and then you just
Well,
follow that person.
typically we've seen that the dogs lead the caravan,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
but we haven't seen any dogs like with the peace delegation. There were no dogs leading that caravan.
No, it was just
Everyone
it
on
was the
horses
chariot and
and the banner guy
yeah.
at the front.
Yeah,
I
well-
admit I have been pondering how they navigate their road system
yeah.
with their horses and stuff. It seems a little strange, especially when they're just going across little hippity hoppity islands in the marshes and in the water and stuff. Because
mean, it's been 500 years. They had to have navigated these trails before.
Yeah.
It's not like they're exploring new areas. All right, what happens in the next scene?
Okay, so at the peace talks, the Travantian delegates meet with Magrah and Harlan. Baba Voss and Haniwa recognize Ren in the delegation, and Baba Voss totally knows that his daughter is getting it on with her. The Travantian commander baits Harlan by confirming that they killed his brother, and Harlan loses his shit and strikes the commander, abruptly ending the talks for the day.
You know what? I loved all of this. I loved that little moment between Baba Voss and his daughter, and he was like, "You sound happy." She was like, "I am happy."
I love it. He's like, you always choose the hard way.
It's so cute. I love the relationship.
Yeah, they have a good relationship.
And then Harlan's reaction, fuck yeah, she was being a dick.
Yeah.
I'm glad he beat the shit out of that asshole.
For a second, I thought that was the chick from Game of Thrones.
Oh, the shame?
No, not her. The crazy aunt with Lord Aaron at the...
Oh.
I thought that was her for a minute.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Aunt Lisa.
Yeah, Aunt Lisa, yeah. It took me a minute, and I realized it wasn't, but it was like, oh, wow. I thought for a second it was a Game of Thrones person. I'm like, oh, cool.
This show needs the Queen of Thorns on it at some point.
Yes.
She's like the leader of the Ganites. She's
She
like the
passed
matriarch.
away, that actress.
No.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
did?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry to break that news to you.
God
They need to
damn it.
Tarkin her.
No, they don't need to do
CGI
that. Anyway,
Tell Cersei it was me.
she's a great actress.
She's a badass.
There was a scene, or no, there was a line in this that's kind of, if I had the subtitles on because I wanted to see what was going on a little bit better, and Lord Harlan tells somebody to stick their poker up their ass, and I was like, that's freaking hilarious. That's so him. He's in the background. Stick your poker up your ass. It's just like
he's talking shit on his way out as the guards are carrying him out.
Yeah, they're escorting him away.
Him.
Oh, yeah, like, Harlan's a badass. I love him. He's cool.
Yeah, he's definitely stealing the season.
Oh, yeah.
He's like one of the best new characters.
He's my new fave.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Kadish, what happens next?
Kofun continues his training at Castle Pensa, and Paris comes upon him, discovering that Kofun is learning how to fight from Toad. She tries to tell Kofun that compassion and love are more powerful than swords, and Kofun is all like, stop talking crazy, bitch. Paris warns him about spending time with the queen, but Kofun isn't having any of that either.
Ew, it was like she smelled his fingers, and then she was like, "You've spent time with the queen." I was like, "Ugh."
More like she smelled his crotch.
Yeah. He's like, oh, you smell like sex.
Smell like Aunt Handy.
That was gross.
Smell like royal sex.
So she's wrong about like him, like don't learn how to fight. No, he needs to learn how to fight.
He needs to learn how to fight.
So she's wrong about that, but she's right about the queen stuff. Like she's calling him out on that, and I think it's
well, like Baba said, she's been wrong before.
I feel like
it's true.
Paris is just up in the castle. We need to get out of here. This isn't where we're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. What are we doing here? Let's go back to the mountains and be some hillbillies and do our string and skin and thing and just move on with life.
Well, also,
she does not want
now
to.
You know how Joel Morello ended up so fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, like she's not giving him good advice.
No. Don't learn how to fight.
Sitting there
love and compassion are more powerful than swords. No, they're not.
If she's such a good seer, why is she not seeing tofu and what the hell?
Queen Handy?
Sibith.
Queen Aunt Handy over there.
Yeah.
They're getting their
Well,
stuff
she
on.
is, but I don't know why she's not making a bigger deal out of it.
If she is, she should be doing everything in her power to make
To
it
cock
not.
block him? Yes.
Yes.
She should be the
So I don't think she sees shit when it comes to that. Because if she does know about it, then she needs to make it stop, because then it's just stupid.
She should have sent Kofun on a very important errand for the weekend while his parents were away. Because obviously the queen is going to seduce him.
Nothing good comes of this.
No.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's aunt and nephew.
Yeah.
Like that, Paris should, well, I guess Paris, I mean, they had the whole like thick blood thing from season 1. So
yeah, I mean, in this world, banging your cousin isn't a big deal, but it's kind of gross. It is, especially aunt.
Gether Bax was banging his aunt, so aunt banging is a thing in the show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
you're right. I totally forgot about that.
I guess
the show doesn't want us to remember Gether Bax anymore, but we remember.
Yeah, I just no.
All right.
Not cool, man. Not cool, writers.
Not cool at all.
One of you has a weird fucking ant fetish, okay? and it's fucking gross. Keep that shit on Pornhub, okay? It's
Save it for Netflix, guys.
That's some HBO shit.
Yeah, that's some HBO Max shit.
and it's fake on Pornhub too, okay? It's nasty.
Oh my god. Anyway, what happens next?
Beer, baby. We just had beers.
We
That's,
did.
you know,
We just shotgunned some PBRs and we came back.
in preparation
We're
for our next.
classy that way.
All right, so back at the peace talks, Camp Magrah and Baba Voss are pissed at Harlan for almost tanking the talks, but Harlan had previously secretly arranged a meeting with the Travantian ambassador to make a backroom deal for peace. Magrah and Boo don't like the idea, but they both reluctantly go along with it.
I love it when he calls him Boo.
I love it when he calls
that
him-
he keeps changing Baba's name every episode.
Yeah. Called him Bob last episode. Now he's called him Boo Boo.
I like my favorites. Has he been called Bobby yet?
Not yet.
Bobby Voss.
Bobby Voss. Hey, what's up, Bobby?
What's up, Bobby Voss?
Boba Fett.
Bobby.
Boba Fett.
Bubba Voss.
Bubba Voss.
Baba Voss.
Bubba Bobby.
Harlan is just.
Bingo Voss. I like that one. That's pretty good. What's up, Bingo?
I think Boo has them all beat.
Harlan needs to change what he calls him every single episode
Yeah.
from this point forward.
Yeah.
Just come up with a new thing.
Robert.
Robert.
What's up, Robert Voss?
Robbie.
Robbie. Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Gonna go paint some happy little clouds.
I think it's safe to say we all love Harlan.
Yeah.
What else?
Team Harlan.
Yeah, Team Harlan. What else happens in this scene? I can't.
Well, he reveals that he set up a backdoor
that's
meeting
right, yeah.
with the Travantian ambassador. So Harlan's still playing the game, and Magrah and Boo are completely oblivious to it.
Well, I love that he's like, the peace talks aren't pointless. I've got something going on. And Magrah's like, you did something without my permission?
Well, bitch, you don't know what you're
Yeah,
doing.
exactly. He's like, you weren't doing anything to help us out, so
You
I
know
had to go.
who's the only person that's worse at this than Magrah is Baba Voss. He's like, I'm gonna go to that meeting and I'm gonna rip everyone's throat
Well, you know what?
out. Maybe
Maybe not.
At least Baba Voss is staying true to himself.
Yeah.
It's like, I just want to murder everybody. Fuck
Yeah.
them. You know, that's fine. It's like, everybody sucks. Don't trust anybody. They're all evil. I'm out for me and my family. And if you don't like that, get out of my way or I'm going to slit your throat.
He's an angry bear.
I'm totally okay with that.
He's an angry bear.
You know,
Yeah.
Magrah, she's just, I'm really starting to dislike her.
Well, I think that she is like trying to maintain this air of I'm in charge and I know what I'm doing, but she really doesn't.
I liked how in the scene she's like, you've ruined the peace talks, and he's like, well, then how come they haven't left yet?
Yeah.
He's just like, listen, bitch.
Harlan knows
Yeah.
how to play this game
Yeah.
that Magrah forgot how to play when she was out banging
For 20 years.
For
Exactly.
20 years.
She was living in the mountains for 20
Being a
years.
freaking
He's
mountain
been
lady.
a politician this whole time. Maybe
Yeah.
listen to him. He is your husband, who you're going to give the kingdom to eventually. You have to be able to trust him.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think Harlan's the one that we want to be
Yeah.
trusting.
Yeah. Put a crown on that man's head. He's earned it.
I'd follow him into battle.
Jingly one.
A jingly crown.
Joey Crown.
Hey, what makes a bell royal? It's like, do they have like a special tone?
Well, I think you're only allowed to have bells if you are royal.
Oh, is that it? The bells
I
make
think
you
that's
royal.
what it is. Yeah. We didn't really mention it, but the Pensa banner flag with the little
Yeah.
jingles on it, very interesting.
So if you come across like a Hallmark store or something, you go to the Christmas section where they have all the stupid little jingle bells and stuff.
Mhm.
You could become a royal really quick.
In this society, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny because like the Travantian delegation is like, that's Pensa's banner. And it's just like, how can you tell the difference? It's just
Yeah.
a bunch of bells jingling.
It's just a bunch of shit on a piece of
It's got to be.
cardboard.
There's
like,
got to be different tones.
I smell horse shit and peacock feathers. That must be the Travantian.
No,
or
ser-
the,
but
the
no,
Pensan delegation.
when they first showed that scene, when they were, I know we're going back just a little bit, but when they had the delegation riding through the whatever on the road,
yeah.
and you have the dude up there with his banner, and I'm like, nobody can see the fucking banner, man.
But they can hear it.
It was just
They
like,
can hear it.
but I didn't hear anything. I mean, maybe
Oh.
maybe it was one of those shows where I needed to close my eyes.
Yeah.
No, but
I can hear the banner.
they made a point.
But-
They made a point of having the
I know.
banner in full view of the camera, and they showed you how it worked and how. So what I would think of, like, if you're talking about world building, is like that's Pence's banner because it's made out of a certain material.
how does the guy?
Somebody else's banner is made out of something else.
How does the guy holding the banner, who's in the very front of the procession, know where to go?
Maybe
They're just following the road. There is an actual road.
Yeah.
How do they know they're on the road?
You bump into a tree, you
You
get back on the
can
road.
tell if you're on a road or if you stumble into some grass.
They were walking through giant mud puddles.
Yeah,
That'd be all
that's
right.
the road.
I mean, your feet would get soggy after a while.
Yeah. Baba Voss was
I felt like, man, that looks really
They
uncomfortable.
really should have had a dog contingent leading the procession there.
Something
There's
like that.
just this is the kind of stuff that that frustrates me about this show because some of it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I know I'm not blind, so I can't relate, but that doesn't make any sense. You know, at least from the very first episode of this show back in season 1, in the village, and you know, and you see it sometimes in this season, they have the wires and strings going across the villages that the people use their sticks to guide themselves to where they want to go.
Yeah.
There's none of that here.
Especially in
These people are traversing hundreds of miles, possibly, or 20s, dozens of miles.
Yeah, there you go.
Across, open landscape, and their maps are bullshit. They just go rock here, ditch here, and a mountain here. He's like, you can't tell where you're going on these maps.
And they established in this episode that the maps are like knotted.
well, they're tactile.
They're
You can
braille
feel
maps. Okay,
Yeah,
whatever.
like okay, this is a river over here. There's the mountain landscape here. There's the roads right here. So they just each one is like a different material that they sew in together. I don't know.
Okay.
Don't even talk
So
about.
what would so like between the Summerlands and the Hendersonites, where would our boundary be?
Well, what I want
strip?
to know is how do blind surveyors knit maps?
Yeah.
It's like the whole idea of surveying is that you're looking at something. So like if they can like feel a stream, it's like, oh, there's a stream here. How do they tell the distance? Like how are these maps anywhere near accurate?
That would take an entire episode. There's gonna be an offshoot episode where we just follow a cartographer in this world, and
like it.
and we just like follow him,
what-
and he goes off and gets
yeah.
killed by the Ganites, and that's what we get introduced by the Ganites
shit.
for.
What a-
That's
Yeah.
great segue.
I still want the Detrojans.
The Trojans,
the Detrojans.
Detroit guy.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I'm down. We need the Canadians.
It'd be funny if
the Canaanites.
it'd be funny if Clevelandites
Yeah.
were all like holed up in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're just like listening to music all day.
And the Detrojans are just like, they wear
They're really-
car parts as their armor.
Yes.
No,
Go straight.
The Detrojans are going to be all like really upset that their football team never wins a game ever in 500 years.
Burn.
The Lions never fucking win a game.
Is there like sports and like events in this
That's a
world?
good. I would like to see this.
I kind of would like to know.
I would like to know.
That's interesting.
They all like put blindfolds on.
Well, we watched. I sent you that link to what was it? Blind soccer. It was like an Olympic game that actually is real in our world, where they have blindfolds on and they play soccer.
They call it floorball or something.
Floorball, yeah, something like that.
Like they got 5 guys. Like they're all they fall over on the floor.
Yeah.
That's terrible. I shouldn't be that way.
No, but
it's the most ridiculous game I've ever seen on TV. I'm sorry.
Very fascinating to watch.
It is fascinating, but it's like, oh shit, he's gonna throw the ball.
Yeah. Well, you can hear
Lay down.
You can hear it bounce, and that's what they're listening.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
They get the little squeak, from the
I
floor.
shouldn't be that way, but it's
funny. It's funny.
A sighted person watching people play whatever that game is interesting. I can't help but kind of chuckle a little bit because all somebody's got to do is go,
and then they get slapped with a freaking violation. We're not talking.
Well, you would think like live music and storytellers and stuff like that would be like a big form of entertainment in society.
It is in Travantes.
dude.
Yeah, I guess, but like they don't really like feature it too much. So
Like, man,
It's there.
I scored some really good tickets because there's a smellist coming to the Coliseum. He's gonna do some really cool fucking.
We're all
weeds
gonna get
and shit.
high as
It's gonna
fuck.
be great.
That's what they need.
It's gonna smell like grapes and tobacco and yeah. It's
Like,
gonna
what
be,
if you
it's
got
gonna be off the
tickets to
hook.
that and you went to smell the cool smells and like the guy in front of you was farting the whole time?
Oh,
Liked it?
Dude, bro.
That's got to be like a really big violation in this world, right?
Yeah.
To like just pass gas in front of people.
Yeah, no farting. We're all here to.
Dude, they got piss poles.
Everybody likes their own brand.
They got piss poles and squatting holes
Yeah.
all over the village.
I don't know, man. It's a
So
weird world.
The smell's got to be like all over the place.
Let's keep going.
Yeah, let's keep. We're getting off rail. Go ahead, Kate. What happens next?
all right. So meanwhile, Rin pulls her assassin knife out of the bread Ito gave her and then goes and finds Haniwa. The two go to the abandoned flight control tower within the camp where Rin confronts Haniwa about being royalty. Haniwa reveals that she didn't know, and with that out of the way, it's time for some sighted girl on sighted girl action.
Some. Never mind.
Keep going.
We can't. There's 3 guys here. We're gonna make
You're getting
jokes.
some hardcore sided scissoring going on.
The conversation that they had was. God damn it, V. The conversation they had was good to get all this stuff out of the way. I didn't know you were a freaking princess. Well, I didn't know either.
Neither did I.
It's like your nose is awesome.
Yeah, but
Sorry, I've had some beers, dude. It's not good.
all right.
Jude's been pissed off at me.
Continue before we get ourselves in trouble.
All right. At the secret meeting with Ambassador Scopus, Magrah reveals that they know Travantes didn't attack Kanzua and that they plan to depose the queen. She makes a deal for the Travantians to offer an apology and then renounce the apology once she takes the throne, thus preventing a war and allowing Travantes to save face.
Needed to be said.
Yep.
I'm glad we got it.
Yep.
Not much to talk about.
Nope.
It was cool.
Let's go.
Continue.
Cool. That was amazing.
We're professional reviewers.
Yeah. All right. So back at House Harlan in Pensa, Kofun is having dinner with the queen, who introduces him to some highly experimental herbs.
This is what we want to talk about.
Yes.
Queen Kane and Kofun start tripping balls, and before you know it, they start having sex. And while the queen and Kofun are high on thornflower, the audience is high on cocaine.
Yes. So nice.
Okay.
Thornflower.
Shrooms? What is
No, shrooms is mushroom. This is thornflower. What? I don't know. I feel like it's like DMT or something.
I need some clarification.
Or what's that cactus? Peyote.
Peyote.
Peyote? Yeah, maybe it's peyote.
How
I don't know how they're gonna get it in Pennsylvania.
I want to know how.
Well, that's why it's really hard.
That's why I'm thinking shrooms. 'Cause of-
Shrooms would be more.
I thought it was shrooms. Too.
Yeah.
Just,
Why would
the
they-
way it looked.
Why would they call it thornflower?
I want to know how blind people trip balls. I want to know what they're.
Well,
what
that's
they
an
see.
interesting thing because it messes with your brain and it can make you see things, which might be why they love
Yeah.
it so much. It's like, oh, I can see flashes of colors, and they talk about what's those kaleidoscope things? People who
Kaleidoscopes?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
I used to just.
is
like,
that what it's called?
Yeah.
I got it right.
Yeah.
I still to this day just kind of like lay in bed sometimes and I close my eyes really hard and I rub them
And you can see your.
so I can see all the like cool little kaleidoscope little
Yeah, that's probably not good for your eyes,
stuff.
bro.
I don't care, whatever. It's like I'm old, man.
Like, it's been a good run.
I don't need these things anymore. No, I think there is definitely like something that happens to your brain where you can see colors and things and
So
just
why isn't
messes
there
with your
like
visual.
a contingency of the population that just likes to trip balls all the time?
Well,
Maybe there is, right?
I think it's hard to come among these because Kofun even said like I've heard of this but I've never seen it before.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's because he's lived out in Tire Land for his whole life.
Well, you
Tire
think
and water bottle world.
you guys bring an interesting concept is like the mushrooms would be really readily available in this kind of climate. You'd be able to get mushrooms and trip.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
they don't do that. They use thornflower, which I'm assuming is probably peyote because it comes from maybe the Southwest,
A
and
good thing to ask
they have to.
the writers of the
Yeah.
show.
Well, so
What
tell us
is
about
thornflower?
thornflower.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't think. No.
I do want to talk about one thing.
Yeah.
When they were feeding it to each other, how gross the queen was like
Oh.
sucking on his finger.
She was working real hard.
Yeah, could you be more obvious?
Sibbit,
I'm gonna suck that finger.
Sibbit and her hand action and her licking and stuff is just like
It is over the top.
it is. It's over the top. I don't know whether I'd to be repulsed or if I should get erect. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a weird mix there.
Yeah.
So
Well, she was
yeah.
working. If there was any an argument, but like she's 100% just trying to seduce this freaking
for
18-year-old
sure.
kid.
Yeah.
This would be the scene to point to.
yeah, I mean it's kind of funny because I'm looking at this. I'm like, man, she's following the sexual predator manual from Joe Exotic to a T.
Yeah.
So he like starts off with the Jesus juice.
Oh
and then,
my
like,
God,
he
he really
graduates
is.
to the drugs. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Get you-
She's gonna show him a tiger.
Which
in a
again,
minute.
like I was gonna get real irritated with Tofu again, but then I'm like, oh, but he's like high. So she's taking advantage of him in a weakened
Yeah.
state,
Oh,
which
she-
made
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Kadish said, like this is her playbook. She did every single one of these things also with Jerla Morel.
Hmm.
And if you think she hasn't done it with somebody in between Jerla Morel and now,
I wonder if she did
Yeah.
it with Boots. What-
I doubt it. She didn't need to
Boots
with
is-
Boots.
Boots
Boots
is
was
just
just
like,
desperate
"Urgh."
for someone to be nice to him.
I've never done this before.
Oops.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's
Boots
too
was
much.
Stupid name. Boots.
Toad.
We also got to remember
Stupid
that
name.
Harlan totally banged his wife's sister at some point.
Well,
Harlan.
he helped her pray.
Yeah, he helped her pray.
He went down.
Oh, he went down? That's right. I forgot about that.
Could you come and help me pray?
He went
He's like-
downtown to
He's like,
Queentown.
"Uh-oh." And they had the little weird, funny little.
Yeah,
It's like,
Harlan just like
Shrugs. Like,
Like right at the camera and said, "Yeah,
gotta do what you gotta do.
gotta man up.
I'm pretty devout.
I'm doing the Lord's work.
I believe."
I forgot he did that.
Yeah.
I didn't mention that again, huh? Okay. All right.
They're
What
like,
happens
they're really
next?
they're really fast and loose with their relationships. and
Everything's-
this thing.
yeah.
They're everything.
They're everything. Yeah. 100%.
All right, so at the peace talk camp, Magrah and her brother husbands make their way back to their tent, but poor Boo Boo can't come inside because the appearance of Magrah and Harlan's marriage must be kept up. So Boo Boo chooses to sleep outside in the cold while Harlan gets to keep the woman responsible for his brother's death warm.
Man, it's a good thing he did that too.
Yeah, and I feel like this was a little weak because like if the appearance was all they're after, then why are they standing outside talking about this where everybody else could hear? This isn't a society where you have to see who's going into whose tent. It's a society where you listen.
Yeah.
And if you're listening, they're talking about, well,
Like
I
in the
love
middle of
you.
camp, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
just the mention of the appearance of something just doesn't click with me.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Baba, just come in and just be quiet.
Unless there's like a guard and they're worried that the guard, like, okay, there's 2 guards at the front of the tent guarding Princess Magrah's whatever. And if they notice that there's 3 people in the tent, then they might gossip and word might
Well,
spread.
they're just, the queen's a little freaky, man.
She's got 2 husbands.
Yeah.
Well, also, like, you have to wonder how much of this is just Harlan's way of digging into Baba.
Yeah.
Because there's a great scene here where, Baba Voss goes like, if you touch her, and Harlan's just like, one of these days I'm going to make you finish that sentence.
Yeah. hell
so
yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Harlan just loves like just digging into
Just
Boo Boo.
poking the bear.
Yeah, poking the bear.
They're going to end up
I
being
noticed
besties.
you love
I hope
calling him
so.
Boo Boo too.
I do. And, hey, Boo Boo.
Hey, boo boo.
You know what?
Gonna
Boo
go
Boo the
get us-
bear. He is an angry bear. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It
Yeah, he's an
fits.
angry bear.
It fits.
100%.
Gonna go get us some picnic baskets. Okay.
I agree with you. I think Boo Boo and Lord Harlan, I think at some point they're going to be
Yeah, if you're gonna ship somebody, ship that.
Barlin.
I want them to become friends. I think it would be a cool team. All right, go ahead, Kadish. What happens next?
Yeah, they really should have like a buddy cop show at some point.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, so the next morning in Pensa, Kofun does the walk of shame, which surely won't be the last time. Kofun goes to mope in a park bench outside as he mulls over his first sexual experience, and the queen finds him there. She makes a pact with him never to lie to him if he agrees to never lie to her, even though she's totally always going to lie to him. But Kofun, being Kofun, agrees to the pact.
She's so creepy. She's everywhere. I was like, bitch, leave him alone for 4.5 seconds. You
Can't.
fucking predator.
Can't. Got to get that baby in her. When as soon as that happens, then she'll be like, pull the plug.
She's so gross. I'm sorry. She really is. I just
She's just like a creepy little spider
Yeah.
on Kofun's shoulder every fucking where he goes. Like it's like she doesn't want him to have an independent thought ever. She has to be there, like guiding his thoughts and feelings the whole way.
Yeah, we're literally watching her twist him around her little finger.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I have to admit something. I used to really despise Cersei in Joffrey on Game of Thrones, right? I'm kind of to the point now where Sibith, she's taken over my number one most vile,
She's the worst.
worst person I've seen in a television show. She really has.
Congratulations.
You've done it.
Sylvia Hoeks.
You
You are the worst.
I agree. Yes, because
We need to give her an award.
Oh, yeah.
Queen Sibith Kane is beyond.
Is she
She's
worse than
just-
Cersei?
She's worse.
Wow.
She fucking raped her nephew, dude. It's
While he
just-
was high.
She roofied him first.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just the worst. I just can't. And I don't really feel bad for him because he's stupid too. but this chick is doing it on purpose,
Yeah.
and she's just awful. She's just awful. An awful
I'm
character.
really waiting to see.
I love it because she's just owned this character.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sylvia Hoeks is Hoeks.
Hoax.
Hoax.
I think it's
Has-
hoax.
I think so.
She's a.
Phenomenal.
She
actor.
really is. She really is. And it's just like.
Well,
I-
my
And
favorite.
she's like, anytime anytime you talk to anyone about this show, that's what they're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the queen.
God,
And
that
do you love her?
queen.
Do you hate her? Like, how much do you hate her? Like, that's what people are talking about when they're talking about this show. And that's all her.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, Cersei just banged her twin brother. I can kind of see that weird little kind of goofy, you know, we're the same thing connection.
For
you
a
know?
medieval fantasy
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. But this is just weird. Okay. I just, it's like,
I don't know. What is the end? We'll talk about that another time. We'll go into like theory crafting later.
Yeah,
But
she's peaking at the top of my most hated
villain.
character ever.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
What happens next, Mr. Kadish?
All right. At the peace talks, the Travantians formally agree to Pinsa's terms, but the Travantians attach the conditions that Pinsa must refuse to shelter those with sight, leaving Magrah in an awkward position and kind of pissing Ren off too.
Yep, that happened.
That
what
happened.
next?
What happened next?
All right, back at House Harlan, Toad runs into Paris while she's eating breakfast. Paris is irritated that Toad is teaching Kofun how to fight, but Toad says he's simply teaching the boy how to defend himself. Paris leaves the room after letting Toad know that he is a good man with a very stupid name.
And
Okay,
you know
so
what irritates me is that Paris was a compass and she knows how to fight. And she never prepared Kofun for becoming, like, for defending himself at all. And she's mad at Toad for doing it for him. Like,
Yeah, her
get
irritation.
your head out of your ass.
Her irritation doesn't make any sense.
So first off, where's the compass people?
There was only
they're
one
still
with her.
there because
I feel like that we got introduced to the compass and now we don't care about the compass. And when Toad was walking through the thing, he's just walking through the dark castle, and then he walks by the door and there's Paris way over there in the corner, and he just stops like, oh, well, Paris is over there. What, did he smell her or something?
he can sense Paris.
or what? Because that scene kind of came off a little weird to me that he just automatically knew she
Literally
was over
the
there.
only other person there.
Because you see in other scenes and stuff, right, where to announce their presence, they like make their little clicky noises
Well,
and stuff.
Toad's also a witch finder. Like, he's trained to track people down, so like he knows where pretty much everyone is when he's like walking around.
Plus, he's on high alert for Paris 24/7.
I don't know. It
to
just seemed kind of weird how he knew
I
she was
love when they're talking and Paris is like, I didn't mean for you to turn Kofun into a soldier, and Toad's just like, believe me, there's no risk in that. It's like another dig at Kofun right there.
Yeah, another self-aware moment.
We love making fun of that kid. Don't we?
Yeah, we do. All right, what happens next?
All right, at the Peace Summit, Haniwa are getting it on in their little control tower. But while everyone else is sleeping, some assassins sneak into the camp. Baba Voss senses the attack and wakes up, getting all ninja as he tries to hunt down the intruders. The assassins are able to kill the Travantian commander and ambassador before Boo takes one of them out. Boo rushes to the ambassador just as Ren emerges from her love session. It looks like Boo is the one who killed the ambassador, and Ren feels betrayed. Haniwa tries to talk some sense into her, but Ren breaks up with her and runs back home to Edo. Magrah discovers that the assassins have Payan markings on them, meaning that Queen Cain sent them to sabotage the peace talks. Team Magrah decides to flee the failed talks before the Travantians can get their revenge.
This was a really cool scene.
Yes, and also Baba Voss irritated me at the end when he was like, I'm sorry. Don't say shit like that while you're standing over a guy who just got murdered.
Yeah.
Zip it.
Stop talking.
Yeah.
I thought it was a cool scene, but I didn't really feel like how it ended went right. Like Ren, how dumb is she? Yeah, I just feel like it's obvious that Baba Voss to me didn't kill these people.
He was literally standing over that guy with a knife.
It didn't. I don't know. Something about the whole way it was set up didn't really.
Like
jive
if you walk in, you see a bunch of dead people, and then you see a bear over a dead guy with a bloody knife, and you go, "Oh, you totally just killed that guy."
Yeah, plus, like, only her people got killed.
Yeah.
So
it's the heat of the moment. She just got done with her love nest.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She jumped to conclusions. She wasn't there trying to investigate what really happened.
And she's like in a very vulnerable position. She just gave herself to her girlfriend, and she's trusting her. And this is the enemy. And then it turns out there's been a betrayal and a sabotage while that was going on. Of course, that's what
I suppose.
There was a bit of acting in this scene that I really freaking liked. The actress who plays Ren, I can't remember her first name. but when she was like, "You used me," like that feeling that she had underneath it was freaking awesome.
See, because I felt like she overacted.
Oh,
Really?
no, I thought it
No.
was very authentic.
No, I
Have
thought
you
it
ever
was
been
good.
used
Never.
for your body?
I said, okay, yeah, that's
From
it.
my body?
You ever been with a big man? All right.
I actually really liked the whole cat and mouse game that Baba was playing with the assassins, where
Assassins.
where he was trying to figure out, like, is someone here? What's going on? You know, that whole like kind of like silent sequence was really interesting to me.
I love it when he does trickery too, like when he throws rocks.
Yeah, he threw the rock and then they moved and then he found out where they were.
It reminded me of that scene when he goes into the slavers thing and he was throwing the sand or the rocks or something.
Yeah, that was a great scene.
That was my favorite fight scene of this whole series so far.
Yeah.
That was a badass one. I hope they.
I need more of that. I need more of that.
I think we're gonna get more of it.
Oh yeah.
The next couple episodes are gonna be pretty intense.
Well, when the Travantians come and storm Pensa,
Yeah.
we're gonna see a lot of
Well,
blood.
now they're justified.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Queen's gonna get her war.
Yeah, that's what the queen wanted all along. So at House Harlan, Queen Kane gets naked and crawls into bed with Kofun, asking him to protect her. And Kofun is all like, all right.
good.
When
Yeah, that
Magrah,
makes sense.
when Magrah returns, she confronts Queen Kane and throws her chicken on the floor. That's how mad she is.
Listen, that scene when Sibeth is just sitting there and she's, "How was your trip?" and she's just like smacking her lips so irritatingly, and I'm like, God damn it, I would be freaking pissed too. Like,
and she's so proud
she's
of herself.
so like,
She's getting her war. She
Yeah.
killed a bunch of Travantians. She fucked Kofun. She might have a baby in her. And she's having some nice chicken.
Yeah.
Everything's looking like a queen
Yeah,
day.
everything's turning up Sibeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is kind of interesting because you have to wonder like what her long-term strategy is. Like, she's not suicidal, she's not stupid. So you have to wonder why she wants this war so badly. And I'm wondering what the reveal is going to be.
It's got to be something big, like, because they're kind of at a disadvantage unless, like you said before, I think we called it in the first couple episodes, like there's something going on with the Ganites.
Well, he has this theory.
Where if they pull enough troops away from the west and go towards the east, then the Ganites can come in, and then there's going to be like a team up.
For sure, because if she really is just trying to provoke a war and she'll know she'll lose, then it doesn't really make much sense. Because the Travantians will kick their ass.
Yes.
Yeah, she's like a genius.
It's not
and
even a
she's
war.
also crazy. So it's hard to figure out, like, well, is this a smart thing that she's doing or just a crazy thing that she's doing? It's really tough.
Is it the Travantians or the Pensons? Who's who?
Pensa is her.
Yeah.
Queen
Okay.
Kane is
Okay.
Pensa.
All right.
The Payan
Kingdom. All right, Kadish, what happens next?
All right. So in the final scene, back in Travantis, Ren reports back to Ito, telling him that Bubu led the assassination attack. When Ito asks how Ren was able to survive, Ren finally reveals to him that she is able to see, and Ito is shocked as she solves his 500-year-old unicorn puzzle.
That look that Batista had on his face was the same one when he got kicked out of the WWE.
Really?
Yeah.
What? No, it was cool. It was a nice little reveal. I don't understand like why he couldn't solve that puzzle himself. Has he really been working on that for like months? Is that a difficult puzzle?
No, I just think that he probably does those puzzles just to pass the time or to enhance his like cognitive skills or something like that. But for a blind person to put together a puzzle, it's very difficult. And then Ren does it in like 2 seconds. He's just like, hey, you kind of ruined that for me.
I did like that scene. That was cool how she
Yeah.
like revealed that she could see, and just the look on his face before the credits rolled was good. It's like, holy shit.
I hope he trusts her enough not to broodmare her.
Yeah, well, now he probably knows immediately that she's the one that let him escape and everything too.
Yeah. She's given up a lot of information just by doing
I
that.
guess we'll see how that turns out for her.
Well, it also lets us know like where the title of the episode came from.
Yeah.
So like it was nice to see like, oh yeah, look, 500-year-old unicorn. Those puzzles held up really well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They're probably made out of wood. My kid's got wooden puzzles. This thing will probably last.
500 years?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, whatever.
She's got a 5-star apartment in like a freaking skyrise somewhere.
There's probably a
Toys R Us
Toys
somewhere.
R Us or something out there.
Or
Some cool
maybe
stuff in
Jerla
it.
Morel gifted it to him at some point.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
There's probably some episode 9 Ray action figures still hanging on the shelf.
You know how like Star Trek has like the Star Trek shorts where like they just make these like 15-minute like short films that kind of flesh out the universe. Like I wish C would do something like that, where
Yeah.
it's like here's how we survey and make maps. Like,
Right.
It'd be really helpful to
Yeah.
see some of this stuff.
Eventually, maybe they will.
Maybe. So we talked about like, what is Ito going to do? I think she has information that could get Ito killed. And now he has information that could get Ren killed. So I think they're going to be like,
But also Ren just became way more valuable to him.
yeah. Yeah. I think there's a stalemate there where neither of them are going to turn on each other, and they're going to have to work together in order to win whatever battles.
And we still haven't heard it from Dr. McKay.
Yeah. Like the House of Enlightenment hasn't been in the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, we need.
How many episodes do we have left?
Like
4?
So the next one is the penultimate episode.
So there's still only 2 more episodes to
I don't
go.
have anything
Drink.
to drink.
Drink.
Cold coffee.
Penultimate.
So we have 2 more episodes left after this one. So
Okay.
it's an 8 episode season. And we've got, the next one and then the finale.
I think they're gonna drop off.
That's
on it.
short even for an HBO series, right?
No, the first season was 8 episodes.
Was it?
Yeah.
if-
And I also think that this show's kind of expensive to make. So
Yeah.
It probably is.
What if season 3 is all House of Enlightenment, and they kind of like
Well, we'd probably
pop a
get bored
pin
with
in
that
the-
too.
Well, I think they're going to drop off on a big cliffhanger
Oh, yeah.
with the war. Like something major is going to happen. They're going to have a big battle in the penultimate episode. And then the season finale is going to drop is like huge cliffhanger. Season 3, we're just like biting at the chomping at the bit to get to it.
my guess is that at the end of this season's finale, like we're not going to see the House of Enlightenment until then. And then we're going to reveal like, oh, hey, Dr. McKay can, figure out how to make
Cure.
people see again.
Yeah, I think that's his whole. I think that's the
That
end
would
game
be
with him.
interesting.
What
they
if
can-
he's over there taking out all the seeing eyes and popping them in soldiers?
We found this these mushrooms out in the forest that if you trip balls on them for a little while, it'll bring your sight back.
Yeah,
and,
something. I think he's going to cure the virus. I think that's going to be the end game for him.
Yeah.
Like Gerald Morrell was dead set on the fact that like I can fix my eyes. So like there's something going on there. It's got to be. And they introduced him as like the greatest scientist in all of Travantes.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's gonna cure the virus.
Yeah.
Because if you watch the opening credits, which we always point to as like giving you little hints, it starts off it ends off with an eye, and then the eye glazes over with like cataracts or whatever. So
Yeah.
if he can fix that, then they would be able to see. So we'll see. Okay, that's it. Is that any closing thoughts? Anybody? You guys all good? Jude, go ahead. What's up?
She's got her fashion report.
Oh, the fashion report. Yes. How dare I forget that? Go ahead, Jude. Take it away.
All right, Juju here with another C fashion report for season 2, episode 6. Ren sashays her way into the peace talks with her shiny new captain stripes. Feeling sexy and strong with her super secret bread shiv, she lets her hair down from the tower just like Rapunzel, giving Haniwa her secret weapon, literally and figuratively. Taking off her bells and laying her cards on the table, the queen also lets her hair down and her freak flag fly. Queen Kane, or Sibith if you're nasty, puts on her sexiest traveling robes as she goes about the business of taking Kofun to Pound Town. And in conclusion, we have our first royal fashion faux pas. After his first thornflower and his first deflowering, waking up next to Aunt Handy, Kofun walk of shames it past the royal guards in yesterday's rode hard and put away wet clothes. Not cute. And this has been the C Fashion Report, reminding you that you're still a vision, even if they can't see you. Until next, Chet.
Well done, Jude. All right, guys, that's it for our episode 6 review. Thanks for joining us. Let us know what you thought in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with your friends. If these people are not watching this show, they must. Go watch the show.
For
Check it out.
sure.
Check it
Send
out.
it, Chet. Send it with your friends.
Chet.
Chet.
All right, guys, let's get out of here. Matt Vader, where can they find you on the socials?
You can find me at Matt Vader 74 on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
And on Saturday mornings?
On Saturday mornings, we do a YouTube show on YouTube.
You don't say.
Me and Matt, and we don't. Who knows who's gonna show up? So yeah,
Right on.
10 a.m. Pacific time.
There you go. Jude, where can they find you at?
You can find me at I am Jude Juju on Instagram, Twitter, and on TikTok.
And Matthew Kadish.
You can find me at Matthew Kadish, Kadish on Twitter, and kadishbooks.com will take you to my Amazon page. We're also on Facebook, so if you want to join the Salty Nerd Facebook group, you can head over there. Just search for it. It's not hard to find. And also every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, we're doing live streams, so be sure to check us out there. We usually send out reminders ahead of time, so if you're not hitting that bell on our YouTube channel, be sure to do that so you get notified when we're about to go live. And we always appreciate you guys. And also, we have a new feature on YouTube that allows us to get a comments. So it's called Super Thanks. And, you can basically pay a little bit of money to go towards the show to leave a comment. And we're guaranteed to respond to it if you give us a Super Thanks. And it's a cool new feature. And we'd appreciate if you guys, if you like the content, give it a try.
All right, on. And I'm your host, Alex, Salty Nerd. You can catch me on our Discord app. Go to saltynerddiscord.com. There you can chat about this show and a bunch of other stuff. And if you would like to support the podcast and you like what we do here, go to saltynerdclub.com. You get exclusive access to 4 new episodes every single month, and also our private Discord channel where we talk with just members, and you guys get to pick the movies that we want to talk about, or you get to make suggestions, or we do little skits that only members get. It's a really great value, and really do appreciate the help to build the podcast. All right, guys, that's it. We're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, stay salty, my friends.